Do you want to get more streams on your music? Do you want to build a bigger audience on social media? Well, I found a tool that can just help you do just that. Let's jump in and have a look. Hey, it's Graham Farmer from Data Transmission, and today I've got a bit of a breakdown of a brand new tool I found called Beatchain. It's a new website. I've interviewed the owners of Beatchain. They're going to walk us through it, tell us all of the product's features. It looks really good. It's basically helps you build more streams on your music, helps you find more fan base, helps you build a bigger audience on your social media. They've got a great fan booster product inside it. I interview Luke Mendoza from Beatchain. He's going to talk us through the whole product. Let's jump into that interview and have a look. Let's say hi, Luke. How are you?
Hi, Graham. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Pleasure to have you on, man. I'm excited by this platform. I kind of like was saying just previously, I had a little look around. I've watched the video, but if you talk us through it and tell us all about it, because it does sound exciting. It's just for good artists.
Yeah, so Beatchain was founded by myself, Ben Mendoza, and a musician called Steve Jones, who basically came to us in 2017 before we sold our last tech company, and had label deals. Had been dropped and wasn't kind of seeing the career progression that he wanted. And when we got chatting to him, we basically saw the opportunity to relieve a lot of the non-musical based stresses from his normal everyday career life. So as a musician and the leader of his band and a marketer, he was having to create all the content for his band. He was having to build an audience, nurture that audience, promote tickets to them, actually carry on writing albums and go and organize the live shows. And basically, he was basically doing a 360 deal on his own. Mm-hmm. And it was working really well. He was using the kind of earliest form of Facebook Business Manager to build his audience on Facebook, and then Instagram when that came along. And he was using about 4 or 5 pieces of third-party software, from CRMs to website builders to anything you can imagine, content schedulers, and it was costing him thousands of pounds a month to keep all this stuff in the air. Mm-hmm. And we basically looked at it, Ben and I, and saw an opportunity to bring some of our expertise from our tech background to relieve some of that load off of Steve and Brother Strutt. And yep. So we set about putting together a tech platform which allows artists and creators of any kind to understand their fan base first and foremost, get all of their data in one place for free, which is important because a lot of it's publicly available for some reason or another. It's not always easy to access. Yep. Then we wanted to start taking off some of those burdens. So we built a website builder, which automatically builds a website for you, and we'll take you through that in a bit. But rather than paying a huge amount of money for Wix or Squarespace and a designer if you don't want to do it yourself and then maintaining it, yep. This does all that work automatically. Yep. Then we brought in Hyperlinks, which is like a smart link page, which automatically gets all of your distributed music into a nice mobile-first page that you can share across your social media, have your link on your Instagram bio. And that all happens automatically. Whether you distribute with us or not, we can go and we can populate that page, and we'll show you that later as well. We built a social media scheduler, and most recently, we also have email lists. And most recently, we brought in Fan Builder. So that's actually just going into open beta this week, starts today. And that takes all of the data that we gather on any artist that onboards and automatically builds audiences for them, can build lookalikes from their existing email links, from their website visitors, from their engagers on their social media platform, and will basically be able to find and help them nurture fans from cold all the way through to actually streaming their music, buying their merch, going to see their digital live gigs now. And that's basically what we see as the full journey for an artist. So that's what we've put together. And the most important thing for us is that we're completely transparent and that we're doing this for artists. So we've made it as cheap as we possibly can for all those premium features after the analytics. And the analytics actually include all your playlist data. So we track 2.4 million playlists. When you're added to a playlist and when you're removed, we give you all that data as well. And that's a lot of that's for free. And we're bringing in some of those premium features that perhaps you don't need to pay the full $19.99, which is the biggest package we offer. If you just want some of the advanced analytics, we're now bringing in a component pricing model, so you'll be able to pay a few pounds a month just to get all that data.
That's well cool. That's really cool.
So yeah, that's kind of what we built, and that's how we got here.
Yeah,
and that's basically coming to fruition now.
Amazing. That sounds amazing. Like I think I was looking at I've been doing lots of social stuff myself, and the fan builder thing sounded amazing when I was looking at it, because it's definitely the bit that I know that a lot of people that struggle over, and a lot of people that kind of some don't even know about, like building audiences for yourself on Facebook, let alone even just trying to do it, because I know it's yeah.
So many stories we hear of artists, especially those who are kind of grassroots, who got their bedroom studio and they're just starting to make their way into building a fan base. They might go to Facebook Business Manager or Google AdWords, and they might place an ad on Instagram and a PPC ad on Google, and just watch their money flow away from them and not grow anything. And that's really common. And then they get really disenfranchised.
Or worse, click the promote button or the boost button and just really throw the money away.
Yeah, just hope. I mean, we've seen campaigns be placed before where people are targeting 190 million people with their folk music, right? And the chances of the first 1,000 people of the 190 million that surf past your ad are going to be really into a folk track. And the fact that they're doing an original track, the first thing that a cold audience ever sees of you probably shouldn't be one of your original songs, because they don't know who you are. There's no way that they're going to have any reason to interact with you. So we offer education around it with our blog and our Instagram resources, artist growth tips, and on Beatchain, all around this idea that if you're just starting out, it's a really good idea to make content at the beginning which are covered. Because if people don't know who you are and you want to find new audiences, you can use the hashtags on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter for free. So if they are subscribed to those hashtags, they might see you. And if you do a cover, they at least recognize the original song, so that they can kind of understand what your style is, what you're bringing to it, what your genre is, whether your content's exciting, whatever it might be. And that's a way easier sell at that very first point than trying to be like, oh, I've recorded my first song, I've got it mastered, everyone should love me now. But in reality, no one really knows who they are, and it often falls flat, that first advertising push.
Yes. Cool. Shall we dive in and have a look?
Yeah, absolutely. I can share my screen. Let's have a look here. So this is our new website. So our old one is still up. This goes live today, I think. So this is what you'll see when you come to beatchain.com.
Nice.
It gives you a nice overview of all the things we offer, what's free and what comes in a premium package that we discussed earlier. The most expensive thing we offer is £20 a month or $20 a month, depending on your location. And that includes everything, including access to the fan builder, the websites, the hyperlinks. So you don't have to use any of it if you just want one piece, but it all comes in the same bundle. And you can find more about kind of what we do on the website as well.
Cool.
So I've just logged in as an artist that we're working with. She's called Eliza Shaddad. She's a brilliant, she lists herself as kind of indie grunge.
Yeah.
She's a brilliant British up-and-coming artist. She's worked with some amazing people, really talented. And she came on as a beta tester of our fan builder.
Cool.
So this is what you see once you've fully onboarded. This is the first place you land. This is our analytics suite. You get all of your... Sorry, go ahead.
That's a beast. That's an absolute beast.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes in, and you can add a lot more to it as well. So this is what we get initially, and you can add to all of these things. So we have her Instagram following. You'll see what we've been doing with Fan Builder in the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Pretty significant growth.
Yeah.
And you can see how she's doing on Bands in Town and Twitter, and also what her listeners are looking like across all of these streaming platforms. Apple Music, YouTube, and Amazon, they don't deliver any kind of public API or public data set. So we can get that data, but only if you either supply our community and distro team with your APIs or your flat files for them, or if you distribute with us. So if you distribute with us, our partners Fuga, send us a file and we upload all of your data to here.
Cool.
We also give her a list of all of the playlists that she's on right now, and we order them by the number of followers. And we also list what track, if you go in, you can see what actual track is on the playlist and what number it is out of how many on the list. So the higher you are up on a playlist, the more likely you'll be played.
Yep.
And so we can see that Same As You has made it onto this one, and you can go through it on Spotify. And we have a lot of playlists. We track 2.4 million, as I said. So it goes down to ones with just a few hundred followers. But when you're starting out, that's a big deal, being on a playlist with a few hundred followers. So
100%.
So we do all of that. We also, because we're data scientists and we have a brilliant data science team, and we come from a world of big data and ML and AI, we've built data models which help you understand what content you're doing is most effective. And that's done on a number of kind of axes on the model. How recently you posted, what kind of engagement it got compared to the number of followers you have on that platform, and what kind of engagement it got compared to your similar artists on that platform. So what your peers are doing affects how well your content's going. So here we go. We can see that her best post so she has about 8,500 Instagram followers, and this post has nearly 1,000 likes. So this one went really wide. So that's her kind of best performing piece.
Yeah.
And then what we also do is we take, this is the crazy clever bit. I love this. We take all that data that we're getting from public sources like Spotify's API, and then sources that you have to actually onboard yourself. So with Facebook and Instagram data and Twitter, you have to actually OAuth in, you have to log in. And from that, we are partners with them. We get deep dive access to their API, and it allows us to plot where your fans are on a map by all the different platforms. So we can go and have a look and say, if we look over London, here we go, you'll see that she's nearly 1,000 Instagram followers, 1,000 Facebook followers, and 2,000 of our monthly listeners are based in London. And we can go and we can see all the different areas where her different listeners are and what platforms are working best in what areas. And basically, this tool is nice for a couple of reasons. One, you can see where you're getting traction, find out where people are interacting with you, where your music's actually reaching and being listened to. And two, if you post-COVID are looking to plan a tour, it really helps to know where you have big overlaps of Instagram, Spotify, Facebook, and Twitter followers, because those are the areas where you're going to get the likeliest to get the biggest pickup of ticket sales. So
I'm so glad someone's built this, because I worked for an app probably 3 years ago that had heavily funding, like stupid money, like £40 million, and part of that back end was exactly this, and exactly this. Like I remember telling artist managers, this is what it was going to do, and this is the benefits of it. And I'm so glad that you've actually had the same idea and built this, because it's exactly what they were planning to do back then, and I'm glad it's now available to someone, because I've always thought then it was a great idea, and this is a great idea.
And this is free. This will always be free as well. So
amazing.
Because this is the artist data, and we find it ridiculous that it's not easy for artists or creators of any kind to come and just get this information, because it's their data, really. And there are apps that offer portions of this, but they often charge you for it, and we just didn't think that was right.
Also, if your song's starting to pop in an area, then you might want to pour more advertising budget into that area to make it to try and get more out of it, as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. I mean, so this kind of all of this builds towards Fan Builder. That's our first flagship feature, and we have some other ones coming along as well. But all of that data is exactly for these kind of things. So at the moment, Fan Builder is quite broad in terms of its geographical targeting, and much more specific by artists on the interest groups that you can target and the way in which we deliver the content. In time, as in the next kind of phase and iteration of it, we will allow you to take that data and hyper target specific areas all the way down to zip codes and postcodes in the UK. So if you say, I want to do a tour in Birmingham, or I want to sell merch in Birmingham, you can place all the ads, and we will actually suggest what content's working best for those audiences in that area, and really help artists make the most of the potential advertising.
Nice.
So under the under the fan map, we have your peer group. So these are artists from Spotify, similar artists, Songkick and Bands of Towns APIs. And what we do is we basically collect all the information we can on them. So we give you highlights of their social information as well.
Yeah.
And we tell you what kind of genre they're listed under.
Yeah.
So a lot of art pop, indie, anthem, folk, exactly where you'd expect someone in the ethereal grunge genre to land, I suppose.
Yes, yes.
And then what we also do is we give them this fame score, which it's not. We're not judging anyone by it. It literally is another data model. It's another data model that gives you a really good estimation of like how successful you're being, not only within your genre but within the landscape of music. So anyone over a 5 can make some, waves across social media and the digital footprint of the music industry.
Yeah.
Underneath that, it shows you that these are areas that you can develop in, and so we can see that someone like Fen Lily, she's really big on YouTube, right? So she's got over 1 million. She's got 1 million monthly listeners on Spotify. So she's going to have more of an impact than, say, Gia, who's 4th on this particular list, who has about half the number of listeners and a much smaller following on YouTube. So we might suggest, okay, look at the videos that are working best with Fen Lily and make something similar in your own, with your own content, with your own version, and we can help you kind of promote that. That's what this is to do. We also flag up where Eliza's fitting at the moment.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of, we do kind of gamified, but this is actually for information. So you can click through and see the Facebook page or the Spotify of the artist, right?
Nice.
So,
I really like your UX as well. Like I like that little pink line around where your artist is. I think that looks sick.
Oh yeah, you got to give it some. Our brand is there.
And I love the font that you've used as well. It looks it's super cool. So bravo.
Thank you. That's very kind. So the last thing on the analytics, so we don't get bogged down in, is plays you could be on, and this is very aspirational. We're very cautious around anything like playlist pitching. We suggest artists do upload their music once they distribute through us to the Spotify playlist, through Spotify for Artists, for consideration. But what we can do is we can say, okay, so something like Ultimate Indie, 4 of your related artists, so people on this list of 20 artists like you, have made it onto this playlist. And we will show you who those artists are, what songs it was that made it on, whether it was covers or whatever it might be. Here we go. Yeah. So here we're giving you the four tracks and the 4 artists who are on this playlist that you're not on, right? Yeah. So if you do a bit of digging, so this is obviously a Spotify one, so we would suggest to Eliza, okay, well, with your next track, we think it suits us really well. So when you upload it to the Spotify for Artists or for the playlist consideration, you should definitely attach in your EPK or any kind of bio about the track or anything you add to the metadata, the fact that you are very similar to the tracks currently on there and you think this would be suitable. Because that's something that a curator can instantly interact with and understand.
That's so interesting. That's such an interesting way of pitching as well. Like, I know that those people are already on there and my track is similar and I'm a similar size, so you should definitely consider. That's such a different way of pitching.
It's way more polite as well. Rather than trying to pay for plays, if you're just polite to people and you reach out, go on Twitter, go on Instagram, find curators who are not impossible to find.
Yeah.
You can Google the names of these lists. So there's one with 5 on it. And just be polite to them. You'll be amazed when you have this kind of knowledge about your fan base and about your genre, how responsive curators tend to be, because they're like, "Oh, perfect! You fit right into this mold,
100%,
right in the genre."
100. Like as a playlist curator myself, if people email me and say, "Oh, I love that track, and that track," which they'd have already seen from this system, you're going to go, "Yeah, you know what I'm about. You know what my playlist is about. Of course, I'm going to even listen to it, let alone consider it." You know.
Precisely. And I think one thing that we want to do way down the line, so as you said before, as I said, we're completely privately owned. This is all done through investment from Ben Mendoza. For a fraction of the app that you were working with before, we built a brilliant tech team. This is our job, right? This is what we're good at. So down the line, as we grow, one of the things we want to do is work out how we can build this community out, how we can build the Beatchain community to get artists working together, to get curators coming in and producers, and actually build a much more open, much freer transfer of information, and try and break down some of these silos and chase out some of the basic con men that operate within this industry. There's way
100%.
too much pay to play. There's way too much pay for plays. There's way too much charging for education that should be free, and we are determined to right some of those wrongs, and that is all we're out to do. Our product for artists will always be supporting artists.
I agree. I give out tons of content every day just because of exactly the same reasons, and exactly why we're on this YouTube channel, because I believe in giving free content to artists and arming them with the tools they need to go forward, in the music business.
Yeah, absolutely. And on that end, if you follow Artist Growth Tips on Instagram, that is our educational resource for indie musicians. There's everything on there, from making cool videos to building your first audiences to getting ahead of COVID and bits that we learn from the artists we work with. We pull them all together and we share that information.
Go and do that, gang. I'm going to drop that link in the cards below. So go and do that. Go and follow those guys. Great,
thank you. So what we also do is we give you all kinds of suggestions of what you can do next.
Yep.
Liza's been on the platform for a long time. So maybe what I can do is take you through some of the kind of key points that we offer, some of the other features.
Yeah. Let's go through Fan Builder.
Yeah. Oh, so let's do website hyperlinks Fan Builder. That's normally the coolest looking demo, right?
Let's do this. Let's do this. I'm cool. I'm buzzing with this system. That's wicked.
So the website builder, this thing is amazing, right?
Yep.
So this, when you onboard, and we'll show you in a minute, does all of this work automatically while you're being onboarded. You don't have to do anything. You can edit the image. If you edit the top image, our tech will change the color palette to match your head image as well, and it will do it all automatically. You can show your artist name if you want, if it's not on your hero image, but Eliza's already is, so we can hide that. You can show your latest release, but obviously because it's going to go over a header image, we've hidden that. So like that now. We get your live shows in from bands in town, so people can go straight from your site to buying tickets. You can sign up to the mailing list. It's all GDPR ready. We have a full mailing list system in the back end that you can use as part of the product.
Can you then send out mails from that system in the back end as well?
We have a campaign manager. We're actually, at the moment, the campaign manager is pretty simple. Like, you can build whatever you want from it. But over time, as we develop this out, that's the next thing we're going to build out. We're going to have a richer kind of WYSIWYG for the campaign manager for emails.
Is there a limit to how many mails and data and how much data you have?
Nope, not at all. So we have built this all on the latest tech, serverless, AWS. It is incredibly scalable. It doesn't cost us a huge amount in terms of hosting costs. So you can have as many emails on the top level premium, the $19.99. It's infinite. I think on the $14.99 there might be 100,000 to start with.
Right, cool.
Which is still pretty good.
10
when you get everything else as well.
10. Oh, so that's unlimited. It says 10 per month. So is that 10 mail outs per month?
I think so. And then everything at $19.99 should be unlimited.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Well, that's amazing. So that means it saves you cost on things like MailChimp, because
that's it.
Over 2,000 on there, and that's amazing.
And we get you all your insights as well. So this is all ready to receive. Let's go to advanced. You can put your custom domain in. So when you start, you'll get a Beatchain / your artist name website.
Yep.
Then you can, if you already own a domain name, you can put it in here and point the DNS to your custom domain name. You can add your Facebook pixel, which will do all the tracking, and then we have our own tag manager as well. So that's all built in automatically, and you can add the pixel really easily. And we have a blog where we're actually going to put a video of exactly how to do that as well. So it's nice and easy to do. We can actually view the site. So this is what a preview of what her site would look like if she built it with us.
Looks slick.
So you get all your socials and your Spotify, you get your tickets, you get your latest music releases in order, you get your most popular YouTube videos by views and engagement in order. So if you upload a new one, it can come here, or you can share your most popular ones. We get your bio from Spotify or YouTube or Instagram, depending on where it comes from.
Cool.
You can have a shop. So if you sell tracks or EPs or hoodies, if you have a Shopify store, you can link all of that in as well automatically.
Do you link to Bandcamp?
We do link to Bandcamp, yeah, and Music Glue.
Amazing.
And we're actually going to build our own. We're building our own kind of storefront as well. So it'll be a Beatchain native one as well. So we can make sure that
Nice.
artists can cut out as many middlemen as they can.
That's sick.
And then we take all of your social media, and that operates as your kind of SEO, all with the right H1, H2 tags as well. So that's what the website can look like, and you can view it on mobile. Obviously, it won't have a scroll wheel on mobile, but
Of course.
you get the idea.
Yep.
So let me close preview. So that's the website builder.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, I've always been amazed by that. The distribution process is distribution. So if you want your tracks on, we partner with Fuga. If you want your tracks on every DSP that you can imagine, like there's hundreds, then that's not a problem. It's very simple. It's all in one kind of process. Everything from your publishing to your copyrights, for free. You can do whole albums for free, up to 3 albums a month.
Do you go out to the dance sites like Traxsource, Beatport, or is it just streaming?
So at the moment, we are currently talking with our partner Graphite, who are big in the EDM space, and they are helping us work out the best way to help the electronic music scene.
Cool.
And that does include things like distributing to Beatport. At the moment, we're trying to work out the best way to not damage this workflow too much to do that. But that is something that is coming.
Okay, cool.
But if you distribute with us anyway, what we can do is our distribution team and Fuga can help you get your music to Beatport for free if you just message them on the intercom panel here, which comes up on everything.
Amazing. That's cool. Okay, cool. That's great. I guess that'd be one question for us. Yeah, from a dance music point of view.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we are very, very focused on the whole EDM and electronic music scene in working out how our product can better help them. So we very quickly realized there are things like Beatport and Loop Library that people want to get their music on. There are more technical issues around the licensing and the copyrights for those tracks, because obviously they get licensed out a lot. So that's the kind of hurdle that we're getting over next.
Cool.
But if you get in touch with us, we have a full support staff that will literally help you do it for free, and we can do it, which is slightly more manual than we'd like, but at least it works and can really help people.
That's cool.
So once you distribute with us, let me get rid of the intercom panel. Or if you just have music out there, we will build you hyperlinks for all of your releases. So if you distribute with us, you'll get a pre-save here, so people can follow you on Spotify. They can already do that anyway. They can save your song before it comes out to their playlists, and we get all the information about that follower as well.
Nice.
Then we'll go and we will find everywhere that track is currently distributed, and you can share this across your Instagram, your Facebook, your Twitter, and people will see this and they can choose their streaming platform of choice. If there are tracks out there on other platforms and you don't see them here, you can edit it and you can come in and put things in the hyperlinks in manually. So that includes a lot of different library. You can also again track all the traffic that goes through it. So we have our own tag manager, but we also have the ability to add the Facebook pixel, and all of this information.
Can you add a different pixel ID to different releases? Because obviously,
I think you can, but if you're the artist running this page, your pixel ID will be the same the whole way down. So and it will know automatically. But all that information is being saved when you have the pixel, and it makes our fan building tool way more powerful, because we use all that information to build audiences automatically and go and do the tasks that you most want to do. So those are hyperlinks. I mean, they're pretty straightforward, but I always find them amazing. Again, if you change the image, there's a preview player of the track, and if you change the image, it will change the design of the page behind it. And you can view what the link looks like. I'll blow one up. There you go. So the colors are all defined by the image, the colors that we find in the artwork of the track. So that's always quite cool.
Love that.
So if I find one with different colors, you should see we get different color buttons and background and.
Love that.
There you go again.
Yeah, looks slick. Looks really slick.
And so the whole point of this is just making the lives of artists way easier, more affordable, and give them way more options and help them understand what to do next, whatever stage they're at. So let's do the flagship piece, the fan builder, as we call it.
Yeah, this is super exciting.
So Eliza has been running campaigns with us for a few weeks now.
Yep.
Let my internet catch up. There we go. So I can actually show you the actual results on this is her. I'm impersonating her. So this is her actual view of Beatchain. This is what she will see as a self-managed artist when she comes to the platform. There are a number of campaigns you can run at the moment. So we've opened up the first 4 or 3, which is build followers on Instagram, build followers on Facebook, get more video views for any video you have, or promote hype links. So that for an album release or an existing track in your back catalogue. There are others that we're currently working on, which include building your email list, promoting shows, live and digital, promoting merch as well. It's going to be on there, promoting pre-saves there. On top of that, we're also bringing in more advertising platforms as they come live. So Google's APIs have always been live, but they're vast and really, we have to be careful to build that properly. So that will come in next. Then it'll be Twitter as well, for people that want to advertise on Twitter. But then new emerging apps, or the ones that have already very much emerged, like TikTok and Triller and Dubsmash, are all in the market for, they're announced the fact that they're bringing out advertising APIs.
Of course they are.
Exactly. But we want to, whatever platforms are out there, Beatchain is dedicated to making sure that we can help promote artists on those platforms.
Amazing.
So let's have a look at one campaign that she's built here.
What about actually Spotify, like audio ads?
We've spoken to the Spotify audio ad team. I've had the pleasure of going to their offices and meeting their ads team. I think it's called Spotify Studio or something like that, off the top of my head. It's interesting. The potential's there. At the moment, we haven't had a great demand from our user base to produce, give them the offering to produce Spotify ads. I mean, as soon as TikTok came along, everyone reached out to us and was like, we want to be able to distribute to TikTok, so that's what we did. When you distribute with us, you can choose a 30-second chunk of your track, and it will go into the TikTok library automatically. And the same will happen when Triller and Dubsmash and everything else about that. So that's already there. So if our user base come to us and say, we really want to be putting audio ads on Spotify, then that is something that we will build. We have the team to do it. It's just, at the moment, we just haven't heard that demand yet. But we are aware of it, and we're definitely on top of the tech required to do it.
I'm so interested. You've got to build Instagram followers. Let's see how this works.
Yeah, so this is a campaign that's actually running right now, or literally finished today with 0 days remaining. What Eliza's done is she's chosen to go on feed and story, so you can see what the ad looks like in feed and in story mode. This is the text that she's put, so it comes under it in feed, and on story it will be placed on top of it. There's a CTA, which for Instagram is learn more. That's what she's chosen. And she's gone out at £50 a day. I think this ran for 3 or 4 days this time. But let's have a look at the insights. Here we go. So the ad ran out, and it was viewed by 4,000 people, 13,000 on the 15-second thing. And that campaign is averaging a follower for about 70 pence. Which is a little bit high, but then if you consider an Instagram follower has to go through more stages to become a follower. They have to see your content, then go to your page, have a look around, and then follow. So there's quite a lot of friction. So getting an Instagram follower tends to be someone that's going to engage with you more in the long term.
Yes.
We found that before lockdown, we were finding Instagram audiences were converting at more than 150% better than other audiences, including email, which was always immense for us. Especially 16-year-olds still don't often grasp the power of email. I'm always amazed when I talk to new artists like 16 to 18, even younger and older, but just coming out into the world. They're like, why do I need a website? I've got Instagram. Or, I've already put my music on SoundCloud. Why do I need email? People don't use email, but they do. Email is an immensely effective way of announcing shows and getting real interest from your kind of core fan base around new merch and new EPs and things. But with this campaign, as you see here, it ran for a few days. She spent £260. She got a good amount of engagement, nice amount of shares, and she grew some followers. And we can actually go back very quickly and just see that since she's been using our platform, let's have a look at the insight. Here we go. since she's been using our platform, this is a 28-day tracker of your Instagram following.
Whoa.
So we can see that she's gone up 3,500 followers in total. So
Yeah.
while it might or not all happened in the days of that campaign, the fact she's got engagement and they're sharing means that actually the followers are trickling in quite a long time after the campaign's done.
Yeah. That's
And so
cool.
she's gone from just over 5,000 to nearly 9,000 in that. To me, just an estimation, looks about 2.5 weeks, which is pretty good.
That's ridiculous.
Obviously, you can see her reach has spiked and gone up and down as campaigns run.
Profile
And
views
how many
spiked. Profile
she's
views
got.
spiked.
Yeah, so that you can see obviously at the beginning of the month where she ran her first campaign with us, and then here's that last campaign that we just saw, and you can see how it affects her data.
So what was the campaign was essentially she ran a video that said that of her playing.
Yeah, exactly that. So something that Eliza's actually brilliant at is she is really happy to experiment and work with us to find, with our advice, what content works best for building the different campaigns.
Yeah.
We know that for Instagram specifically and for cold audiences, a cover with an interesting background and scenario in place tends to work really well for building new audiences.
Okay.
So she's actually building new content. And what we've been doing, these campaigns you're seeing, is us just testing videos she's had or either has posted or on her back burner just to see how they perform.
What
So let's go
what
back.
would you recommend for an electronic artist to get a bigger growth?
Okay, so one of the most amazing videos we've ever had the privilege of working on was for a group we worked with in the early days called Duke, who are a beatbox trio. They did a 90s mashup, one guitar, 3 mics, a beatboxer and a singer, and they basically did this 90s mashup cover.
Yeah.
And it was the 3 of them in their room, with their equipment, having a bit of fun directly to camera, but the tracks were all recognizable, but they were done in their very distinctive style. Right. And that very much they were all electronic music tracks. Cool. So that's a really good example of how they have their own style and they brought it in. We've also seen some really good growth for one of the acts we've been working with. So let me just bring this up very quickly. So these are the headline figures of some of the artists we've been working with in the last few days. One of them is Plastician.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he did his first campaign with us, 25 quid, just to see how things work. And he was getting 9p a listener for a video.
What did he put? What was the creative around what?
So that was just him in his home studio.
Yeah.
Laying down the latest remix, I think, off the top of my head. I'd have to ask my community team.
Cool.
But it was really simple. It wasn't, we're not talking like crazy high cost videos. In fact, we submit that you should do it as lo-fi as possible. An iPhone, add a little bit of reverb in the studio, whatever you want to do, but an iPhone is good enough, more than good enough, and something really simple. So this is the video that Eliza did for the latest campaign. She's run a number of campaigns as well, but
and then let's have a look at what she put as the captions. So strip back.
Exactly. Nice, simple.
Follow me for loads more weekly. Okay, cool, wicked.
So nothing complicated. This is the kind of stuff that artists should be making anyway. This with stories about, behind the scenes, how you're choosing the next song you're doing, while also writing, your next EP and your next original track. Yep. All of that culminates into a really quite easy to maintain ecosystem if you get on top of it.
And then the learn more. Sorry, the learn more for her click through would basically take her through to follow her page.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it will do. It will take you straight to her homepage where she has a link in her bio. Let me just get her Instagram up. I wonder if I can get straight to Eliza. Oh, I don't know. Maybe not. Rather than go through my personal Instagram, let's have a look.
Yeah.
So imagine you're on your mobile, obviously you'll see on there. Yep. This is the page you land on, and here you go. She's got a link straight through to a Beatchain hosted page.
Sweet.
And here we go. And then I didn't realize she had this line. So what we can actually do is we can go through. So what track was that? So that was Just Goes to Show. Yeah. So we can go through and on the hyperlinks pre-saves. Just goes to show, and then you'll see, hopefully, there we go. So she just put it live. We can see people who have clicked on that profile, where they've come from, and what platforms, what platforms referred them, and then what platforms they go off to listen to it on.
That's really cool.
So you see 59 people have viewed it, and around half, just over half, have actually gone on to stream the track. So it's only just, it's only just there, but it gives you an idea of what this can do.
That's mega.
And it gives you a summary of, currently it's performing below average. So this is something you can do. You can say, do more videos which says link in the bio, or whatever it might be. Things like that help encourage it. I didn't realize that was live. It's nice to add that to the demo. But this is all live now and usable. So cool. This is what we're here for.
Wicked. That's really, really cool. Really cool. And then you were saying about building your audience and your custom audiences. Is that part of the ad setup creation? Yeah,
actually, it's all behind the scenes.
Right.
So if you really want to, you can go and open. I won't open Eliza's because it's her actual.
Of course.
It's her actual ad account. But you can go and look at the ads we're building in Facebook Ad Manager for Facebook and Instagram. And what we do is we take all the information we have on an artist, her similar artists, the interest groups of the people engaging with her current content, and then we build hundreds of micro audiences based on lookalikes from email lists, lookalikes from hyperlink visitors and website visitors, lookalikes of a current engaged audience, lookalikes from Spotify. Then we tie in the genre that she's in and adjacent genres, and all of that we've written via our own code. It's ML, so it learns as you put things into it. And what it also does, it makes judgment calls on its own, depending on the type of content, as to what type of audiences and micro audiences to build to target. So you can actually go in and see what it's built for you, and it will come up as one nice ad set. And underneath that, all the work's happened. We're not hiding that, but the whole point of this is that, I worked in marketing for years before Beatchain. And I couldn't use Business Manager anything like our tech can, and I looked at it every day of my life. And so the whole point of this is artists aren't marketers, and they are never going to make a better decision, and labels aren't going to make a better decision with how to target your budget. However, whether it's £5 or £50 a day, or $5 or $50 a day, better than our data can. The data that you generate about yourself as an artist is way more effective. We can take that, we can interpret it using our models, and we can build it all for you, right? And that's the whole point, is that if you're really into it, and a couple of artists that are on our beta, they looked at what the audience we built, and then they've gone in themselves and they've changed a bit and they've added other influences, and they've tended to find that when they've messed around with it, it's not performed as well. And that's generally the case because we have spent an awful lot of time, 2 years of our lives, making sure that the way this works is incredibly robust and scalable. So we work with a few independent labels who are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on their roster of artists, and they use some of this tech as well. Well, actually, exactly this tech for exactly these purposes. They tend to be more on the promote hyperlink side, where they want to get the back catalogue of their more established artists back in front of their fan bases during COVID, and make sure people are going and adding them to playlists and listening to them.
100%.
But this tech is built for exactly that. So, with the building followers, it will go to cold audiences. With promoting hyperlinks, 90% of your budget will go to your existing fan bases, because those are the people most likely to go and listen to your original tracks.
That's cool.
So that's kind of, I know that was quite a long answer.
So from a label point of view, I guess you would, is there a label type page, or do you just log in as your artist?
So we do actually have another subset of tools built on the same tech, which we kind of reach out to labels, or labels reach out to us kind of in the background behind all this direct to artist stuff. And then we work with them on a kind of case by case basis, label by label, promoter by promoter, whatever element of the industry that wants to use this kind of tech, we're there for. And I don't actually have the demo rights for that here. But basically, it's very similar. It looks very similar, but you can just switch from artist to artist very quickly. And it also gives them a comparison of all the artists on their roster very quickly. And we have more complex data models. It's a more expensive version of this tech, basically.
Perfect.
And it's got a few more bells and whistles.
So as a label, then they just hit up. They just go hit up the support and all the emails on.
Yeah,
the
and they pass us straight on to myself, Luke, or Ben, or well, it's actually me or Ed, our CTO, Ed Godshaw. We tend to bring them in, and then our board of advisors, includes Bob Morelli, who ran Sony Red for 20 odd years. He was at Sony for 35 years. He was a VP at Sony BMG when that happened. So he knows the whole distribution and label world better than anyone. So he brings in a lot of labels. Alan Kovac, who's the head of Better Noise Music Group, one of the big, if not the biggest independent label in the world, who represent Five Finger Death Punch and Motley Crue and huge artists. And then we have our brilliant lawyer, Cliff, and a VP at Google, Lou Fantis, who helps us on the tech side. So those guys often bring in a lot of the B2B side of things. But yes, we do have a whole suite of tools. We have this amazing thing which allows promoters to predict how many tickets they'll sell for a show, digital or live, based on the existing data of an artist they represent and historical data of tours they've done and merch they've sold. And we built all that out as well.
That's amazing.
It's really cool. That was a really fun project, that one.
As someone that is as myself, obviously I do have an artist account. I can set up my artist. As myself, as me, video creator, YouTube creator, can it track my stats and can I use Fan Builder to help me build my socials?
Yes, it can absolutely do that. Obviously, at the moment, it's very music focused.
Yeah.
This tool is built primarily for artists, but there's no reason you can't use the core of it to track. Especially if you're in something that's creator based or creator adjacent, so video creators, podcasters, anything like that.
Yeah.
Podcasting is really interesting. We are petitioning everyone we can talk to in the industry to give us as much data as possible. Spotify are just starting to open up parts of their public API about podcast data as well, and we will build a new view on this tech you're seeing here.
That's perfect. If you need people to so I have my podcast, I have YouTube videos, and obviously, so it'd be good to kind of look at those and see how they're growing, and obviously take the data to build Instagram essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's it. I mean, so when you come on as any artist within Fan Builder or creator, we will still get the interests of your followers, and you will still be able to go through to one. You can add if there isn't enough data, if you're brand new, you can add certain influencers that you want to build into the audiences, and you can still go through to Facebook Business Manager and just sprinkle a little bit more in there to make it more specific for your needs. But it will still let you upload. This basically at the moment, what it does, it will pick something for you, but you can also just create a brand new ad. You can upload media from your media library, which we haven't even gone into. This is like a Dropbox. You can save everything you want in here. That's all part of the product as well.
Amazing.
So you could take a track, you can insert that. You can also edit the thing. We have a photo editing tool built in as well, so you can
that's cool.
You can do whatever you want. You can add text and graphics. You can change filters, crop it. We automatically size it for the ads of choice, and then you can add all kinds of things.
Amazing.
There we go. So you can go test 1, 2, 3, 4, and then if I then. Is that right? Yeah, no, that's all there. So then if I went to promote, I'm not going to because this will make it live. That will go live. That would be the text. This would be the thing that you're promoting, and it will go and it would build for £15 a day for 7 days. It will go and build you a Facebook following.
That's cool.
That's it. That's all the steps that are required. We've made it deliberately simple to use for this exact reason.
Wicked. I'm going to go and test this out.
Great. Yeah. One other thing I can show, I think, let me just have a look, is we do have some partnerships as well. Because we're trying to build a community, we're very, very open to affiliate deals where, it's a two-way relationship. If our users which they have come to us and said, I really need help mastering these tracks. Like when I go to distribution, I really want to make sure it goes through that hitch. We've teamed up with Cloud Bounce, and you can go straight through, and there you go. And if you go through this page, it makes it nice and easy for you to master your track, or at least get a lot of the way there using their amazing tech. And then
their tech is amazing. We've been covering it on Data Transmission a load. I'm a big fan of Cloud Bounce.
Oh yeah, it's just awesome. And then the other one is Rotor. We're actually building a deeper integration with Rotor, because we've seen a huge uptick, and so Rotor of our users going to them, making videos.
Mm-hmm.
They get 10% off as well as they go through this. Lyric videos and little promotional pieces. We're actually going to build that creation tool into our ad builder now, so you can do it on the fly as your ad. That's something that we're working on right now with them. They're really cool guys. Dermot at Rotor is just awesome. You get 10% off for using this. It's well worth checking out if you're an artist of any kind. This is really good for the kind of home studio or more electronic-based producers and creators, because this takes a huge load off coming up with ideas of how to create really engaging content for your original stuff. This will help you out a lot. So really recommend those guys. And that's all built into the platform. So
incredible.
Definitely worth checking out. Eliza hasn't actually distributed with us.
Yep.
Doesn't affect any of the tools. As you've seen, it all works perfectly. But if you do, you'll get a full royalty suite where you'll see all your streams by platform, by location. Let's have it. I can actually show you what it looks like on the new site. Here we go. Oh, sorry. Let me just get up quickly so you can see exactly what it looks like. This is exactly what it actually looks like on your royalty page. You get our distribution is completely free to use. You keep all of your masters, all your publishing rights, all the metadata is checked, all goes through the Fuga process, goes to all the DSPs, and then you get 90% of your royalties. So the 10% is split between us and Fuga, and that helps us maintain this service for free. We're completely open, we don't hide it. The whole point of this is that we've made it as affordable as possible for every artist, and we're seeing bigger and bigger artists coming to this now. Even though we're not spending lots of money on our marketing because we're spending on building the tech, the message is slowly getting out there that this is actually a really, really good deal for artists.
Yeah, 100%.
And we've made it as fair as possible, and we made it nice and easy. As soon as you got over 25 euros, it gets paid straight into your account from anywhere in the world.
That's
we
really
use
cool.
a brilliant company called Payment Rails that helps build a digital wallet for you as well. And you get all the information on your streams, what platforms they've been to, the nations that are streaming you. So yeah, you get a full royalty dashboard as well.
Incredible.
There we go.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you, Luke. Thank you for showing us this system. I'm going to go and spend some time now onboarding myself as an artist, myself as Grahame Farmer, and probably one of my other artists as well. It looks really cool.
Great. Well, thank you very much for taking the time and going through it with me.
Thank you. Yeah.
We do have some resources to help you on board, because while the tech does do all these amazing things, sometimes, artists need a bit of hand-holding to make sure they get everything in the right place. So there's a full series of blogs at every piece. There's a help panel that comes out from the side. There's a lot. We have people in the office or in their homes on our support team at all times. So reach out to them for anything. And the whole point of this is to make sure that we kind of get this conversation going, that independence is definitely the best starting point for artists, and that chasing huge label deals is we're not saying you shouldn't do that. We're absolutely not saying that, but we are saying that we're trying to build a tool set and a conversation that lets you hold a lot more of your destiny in your own hands.
Yeah.
And that's got to be the purpose of all of this.
Amazing. What did you think? Are you going to try it out? Didn't it look cool? I've dropped the link below in the card below, so you can go and have a look and go and test it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments what you think of the product. It looks really cool. What was your favourite part? What do you think you're going to get most value out of? Drop it below. Let me know. As ever, please subscribe to the channel. It really does mean the world to me. It means you get the videos first as they're released. And we're releasing more and more now. Now we're back to normal working life for as much as possible. Kids are back at school, all that sort of jazz. So let me subscribe to the channel. Click the little thingy. I've been Grahame Farmer, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.